What is up, Watch fam? I am Christian from Theo and Harris. Happy Monday, and welcome to Rant&h. Today we're going to be talking about inexpensive watches. Watches that I think have the potential to get people who aren't so much into watches at inexpensive prices. So before we do so, a couple of pre-Rant&h matters. One, wristwatch check. I am wearing a beautiful vintage Gruen, which reminds me a ton of like a Patek Philippe reference 96. And since I cannot afford a reference 96, I have this little stylish number. This watch is available on the watch shop at theoandharris.com, and we have new additions hitting the watch shop tomorrow. 6, I believe. Rolex, Omega, quite a few more chronographs. I mean, there's a whole array of things hitting tomorrow. One probably just better than the other. And if you'd like a closer look at those watches in a more real life feel as opposed to just the professional photos, check out Lookbook, which we just released today. It's a collection of 15, 20 photos of our new additions on my wrist and in my pocket, and real photos, not just the professional photography. So I think it gives the watches, it really shows what the watches really look like in real life. So I'm a huge fan of this new series. So check it out. But apart from that, let's get into the episode. Okay, number one, let's start off really simply. The Timex Weekender, a watch you could pick up for like 40, 50, 60 bucks, depending on where you buy it from. This is not an expensive watch. They are quartz watches, but there are quite a few selections from Timex, like the Weekender and a couple other models, which you can kind of see here, that bring a lot of style. And given that it's an American company with actual lineage in the country and in watchmaking, although maybe not prestigious, but legitimate, roots, to me, it makes it a very interesting historical start. It's inexpensive. It doesn't try to be anything that it's not. It's something that you can strap on, get into watches. Maybe it could be like a first watch kind of thing. And it's just fun. And I think that with their selection and their design, you can actually get yourself something that's really cool looking, especially for the money. I mean, I think it's terrific. Moving up the ladder to the Swatch System 51, a jump actually into Europe, into Switzerland. This is an automatic watch, a watch that really, when it came out, caused like a huge stir, and I think that it's totally justifiable. These watches retail are $150, $180. You can find them on eBay for around $120. Will these watches last you a lifetime? Probably not. You can't service them. But I think for entry-level mechanical watches, I mean, this introduces you below $200 to a new world of watchmaking, right? And although it might not be hot horology and crazy impressive, it is still a step into the kind of the beginning, which gives you an opportunity to kind of grow your passion, understand what mechanical is and why it is in many respects better than quartz. And I think that I respect that a ton. Also, I do have an admiration for how fun they make the watches. If you look at the selection, I mean, they go from white and blue to black. I mean, there are just so many fun examples, and I think that it allows people to approach watches very easily and approach them in a little bit more of a serious kind of manner. So that's it. First Timex, then on to Swatch. Next, moving on up the line to a German manufacturer, something a little bit more off the beaten path than Timex and Swatch, Stowa. And I think that there are plenty of great options from Stowa. If you look at the website, you'll find a ton of watches under $1,000, which is still in the watch industry considered affordable, but it is a significant step up into some serious, in my opinion, some serious design. Yes, they share a lot with some of the simple and very inexpensive Timexes you find on the Timex website, but the designs are just even more acute and they're more detailed. This example, for example, I think the Partitio Classique with its black dial, syringe hands, chapter ring, I mean, everything about this watch takes design to the next level, while introducing a serious mechanical movement. Not only does this watch allow someone to really step up their watch game significantly without still spending even $1,000, but further, I think it really, if you can get into this kind of watch young and early into your collecting kind of period, you understand what $1 means a lot more than if you started off with Rolex. If you start off with $9 grand, you think you lose sight of what is $1,000 worth in the watch industry. So I think that a watch like this Stowa, gives you an idea of what pricing should look like. And especially on eBay, if you could pick one up for $600, $500 to $700, these are great watches. Okay, now to beef up a case size to introduce consumers to alternative materials and like a classic pilot's design, the Archimiede Pilot, the 42 millimeter in bronze. This watch, I mean, it's just a classic kind of Flieger looking dial, huge sword hands. I mean, it's a big watch. At 42, it's not necessarily for me. I think that this kind of watch speaks to the kind of consumer that is looking for a large sports watch, a large, interesting, beefy watch that they can kind of knock around in, and this to me checks the box perfectly. At something around like $800 and $900, you're getting an ETA movement, something that's extremely serviceable, something that will last forever with very good overall design. This is the kind of watch, just as the System 51 made you think about mechanical, and the Timex made you think about simple designs, and the Stowa made you think about taking simple designs and adding great amounts of detail. This is the kind of watch that, to me, introduces the opportunity for consumers to say, oh, like, it's alternative. I mean, this is a total different take on a wristwatch. This is something that is totally dissimilar, or something that really I thought was worth a lot more than $800. I have a very strong hunch that a lot of people who have purchased larger, interesting sports watches, whether they thought that was from Breitling or from Panerai, I mean, like 42 millimeter, big watches, that really, if they saw this, might have been equally as interested, maybe even more so, and then once they saw the price point, they would have been blown away. So that, to me, represents just a tremendous opportunity to share that kind of watch with the mass market, because they don't see that this often. So that's it. Those are some of my top approachable watches. They're not cheap. Not all of them are cheap. Not all of them are necessarily affordable for everybody, but these are great options that don't break most banks, that I think that everyone should think about and respect and kind of analyze a little bit more. Spend a second more thinking about what these watches mean to the market, and not just writing them off as, oh, it's an ETA, whatever. So that's it, guys. Don't forget to check out the watches in the vintage watch shop at theoandharris.com tomorrow, because if we're talking about value, it is definitely in vintage. Sorry, modern. That's it. Have a wonderful Monday and take care.